Hi, third grade. It's Mrs. Pecora here, back to reading A Good Night for Ghosts by Mary Pope Osborne. In our chapter 2, we read that Jack and Annie had reached New Orleans and they were on a streetcar trying to find Louis Armstrong. So hopefully they do, and let's read to find out. Here we go. Chapter 3 Coal Cart Blues. The streetcar turned into a crowded, busy street. Lively music blared from restaurants and dance halls. "We're in the French Quarter now, and you're the next stop," the conductor said to Jack and Annie. "Head down St. Peter Street toward the Mississippi River. You'll run right into Jackson Square." "Thanks." Jack put the research book back in his bag. Annie tucked the trumpet under her arm. When the streetcar came to a stop, they hopped off. "Good luck playing that horn, Missy," said the conductor. "Thanks, I'll need it," said Annie. As the streetcar pulled away, Jack and Annie looked around. "Hey, this is Bourbon Street," said Annie, pointing to a street sign. "Isn't that the street with the haunted blacksmith shop?" "Don't think about that," said Jack. "Let's head down St. Peter." Jack and Annie left Bourbon Street and started down St. Peter Street. They passed tall, narrow houses painted pale green, yellow, and pink. Vines grew up walls entwined around iron balconies. Alleys led to courtyards with trickling fountains. "I like the buildings in New Orleans," said Annie. "Yeah, and it smells good too," said Jack. Delicious food smells filled the air. From a mule-drawn cart, an old woman cried out, "Waffles! Get your waffles here! Yes, sir, fresh, hot waffles!" Jack was getting hungry. Outside a restaurant was a sign that read, "Special, dinner, 10 cents." "Gosh, things are cheap in 1915, said Jack. "Too bad we don't even have a dime." "Yeah," said Annie. "Oh, look!" She pointed to a grand cathedral with soaring spires. "A cathedral! That must be the place with the ghost of the Spanish priest." "Why do you like ghosts so much?" said Jack. "I don't like ghosts so much," said Annie. "Well, you keep talking about them," said Jack. "I'm just pointing things out," said Annie. "You're the one who brought up ghosts in the first place." "Well, let's forget them," said Jack. He didn't like ghosts. He didn't even like thinking about them. Soon Jack and Annie came to a huge green park with an iron fence around it. A sign at the entrance read, "Jackson Square." "We found it," said Jack. Outside the iron fence, in the hot afternoon sunlight, small bands of barefoot kids were playing music. Some strummed banjos, others played harmonicas or long tin horns. 3 boys sang in harmony. A couple of the smallest kids passed around hats collecting money for the different bands. "Where's Louis Armstrong?" Annie asked Jack. "No one here looks like the picture in his book." "Of course not," said Jack. "The picture shows him as a grown-up. He wouldn't look the same when he's 14. "I'll ask," said Annie. She went up to a small girl passing a hat. "Excuse me, is there a musician named Louis Armstrong?" "Louis Armstrong? You mean Dipper?" said the girl. "I guess," said Annie. "Hey, little Mac!" the girl shouted to the biggest kid in the singing trio. "Where's Dipper Armstrong?" "Just saw him. He's at the River Cafe," shouted little Mac. "Where's that?" Annie asked. "Down by the river," said the small girl. She pointed beyond the square. "Walk down to Cantor Street and you'll see it." The girl held up the hat as if asking for a donation. "Sorry, no money," said Jack. "Thanks for your help," said Annie. She and Jack left the square. They hurried along Decanter Street. "So Dipper must be a nickname for Louis Armstrong," said Jack. "Yeah," said Annie, "and Dipper must be playing music at the cafe." "There it is," said Jack. He pointed at the red sign on a slanted rooftop. "Donuts, yum," said Annie. Jack and Annie walked under a striped red awning. Waiters in white jackets were running around with trays of coffee and delicious-smelling donuts. Jack's mouth watered. "That's funny. There's no music here," said Annie. "Excuse us," she called to one of the waiters. "Have you seen Louis Armstrong or Did you come here to buy something, kids?" the waiter interrupted rudely. "No, we don't have any money," started Jack. "Then out, boy!" the waiter shouted. "No begging in here." "He's not begging," said Annie. "We're looking for—" "I know beggars when I see them. Out!" said the waiter. "Let's go. I don't think Dipper's in here anyway," said Jack. "Wait a minute. I have to tell them we're not beggars," Annie said. "It's not worth it. Come on," said Jack. Jack was mad too, but he pulled Annie out from under the awning. "I think it's the way we look," he said. "Our clothes make us look poor, and we don't have shoes on." "It's not fair," said Annie. Forget it. We'll ask someone else where to look for Dipper, said Jack. On the street by the cafe was a mule cart filled with coal. A young teenager was putting a bucket and shovel into the back of the cart. He was barefoot and wore clothes like Jack and Annie's. Excuse me, Jack called. Do you know Louis Armstrong or Dipper? The boy turned. When he saw Jack and Annie, he grinned. He had the friendliest smile Jack had ever seen. Louis Armstrong, he said. That's me. How can I help you, man? Jack was at a loss for words. He hadn't thought about what to say to Louis Armstrong when they found him. Hi, Dipper, said Annie, walking up to the boy. We're Jack and Annie from Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. Friends of ours told us to find you when we came to New Orleans. What friends? Asked Dipper. Teddy and Kathleen, said Annie. The boy looked puzzled, but then his gaze fell on Annie's trumpet. Hey, nice horn. Can you play that thing? Only when the time's right, said Annie. And when's that? Asked Dipper. I don't know till I feel it, said Annie. Dipper smiled his radiant smile again. Ha! I know just what you mean, he said. He wiped his hand on his pants and held it out to shake. Any friends of Teddy and Kathleen's are friends of mine. As Jack shook Dipper's hand, he sputtered, You know Teddy and Kathleen? No, man, never heard of them, said Dipper. But I consider everybody my friend. Oh, said Annie. She and Jack laughed. Only problem is, I can't hang out with y'all right now, said Dipper. He climbed onto the mule cart. Where are you going, man? Asked Jack. I'm making my rounds with this coal cart, said Dipper, and I have lots more work to do today. But be sure to look me up the next time you come to town, and say hi to my pals Teddy and Kathleen. Dipper waved at them and then shook the reins. Go long, mule, he said. The mule clopped over the brick street, pulling the coal cart away from the river cafe. Louis Armstrong was gone. Chapter 4. Potato Head Blues. What now? Said Jack. We have to follow him, said Annie. We can't let him out of our sight. Jack and Annie walked quickly after the mule cart. The hot brick road burned their feet. Ow, 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 they both whispered. So let's figure out, what we're going to say to him, said Jack. Simple, said Annie. We'll tell him we'd like to work with him, and then while we're working, we'll start talking to him about music and put him on the right path to becoming the king of jazz. Said Jack. It wasn't much of a plan, but he couldn't think of anything better. Up ahead, Dipper's mule cart stopped near the back of a candy shop. Hey, Dipper, yelled Annie. Dipper looked over his shoulder. He smiled. What's going on? Y'all sticking to me like glue, he said. Well, actually, we were wondering, started Jack. If we could work with you, finished Annie. Work with me, said Dipper. I'm just delivering coal. Yeah, we know. We think it might be fun, said Annie. Dipper laughed. Y'all are crazy, he said. No, we're not. We just like to work, said Annie. Yeah, we really do, said Jack. Dipper laughed again. Okay, I reckon there's enough work to go around today, he said. There's extra shovels and buckets in the cart. Cool, just tell us what to do, Dipper, said Annie. Fill your buckets with coal and toss each bucket load into the bin, said Dipper. He pointed to a large wooden box at the back of the small candy shop. 12 bucket loads should do it. Got it, said Annie. Annie carefully set the magic trumpet on the ground near Dipper's cart. Jack left his cloth bag beside it. Dipper handed them each a heavy shovel and a tin bucket from the back of the cart. Then all three of them started shoveling coal. Dipper whistled and worked quickly, but Jack and Annie had a hard time handling their heavy shovels. Whenever the shovels tipped to the side, all the coal fell off. Finally, they both just grabbed pieces of coals with their hands and tossed them into their buckets. The afternoon sun beat down on Jack's back as he worked. He was sweaty and short of breath. His hands were black from picking up the coal, and his clothes were covered with coal dust. This is a terrible job, he thought. He wondered how Dipper could be so cheerful. So, Dipper, said Annie, do you like music? Dipper's answer was drowned out as he dumped a load of coal into the bin. What'd you say? Jack called to Dipper. Dipper answered again, but Jack didn't hear him because a buggy rumbled by. This is a bad time for a serious discussion, Jack thought. He could hardly think in the burning sun. As Dipper shoveled more coal, he started singing a song that seemed to give words to how Jack felt. I got these coal cart blues. I'm really all confused. I'm about to lose my very mind. But Dipper didn't seem confused at all, or about to lose his mind. He had a warm, raspy voice, and his song had a lively beat. Dipper, 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 some kids called. Dipper stopped singing. The three boys were running towards the coal cart. They were the singing trio Jack and Annie had seen on Jackson Square. I know you're working, said one of the kids, but quit early today, Dipper. We got a gig to sing in the parade. Sorry, can't do, Little Mac, said Dipper. Little Mac wasn't exactly little, Jack noticed. He looked like he weighed over 200 pounds. Come on, Dipper, said another boy. Gotta work, Happy, said Dipper. Oh, Dipper, said Happy. He didn't look happy at all. Come on, Dipper, said the third boy. Can't do it, Big Nose, said Dipper. Jack looked at Big Nose's nose. It was really quite small. All right, boys and girls, we're going to stop there for today. So stay tuned for tomorrow for the next part of Good Night for Ghosts. Bye-bye.